They call him the Assassin. How did Jack Tatum develop such a reputation? Let's take a look at the legacy of one of the hardest hitters to play in the league. John David Tatum, born 1948, was a safety for the Raiders, as well as spending a season with the Houston Oilers between 1971 and 1980. Known for his hard-hitting, punishing tackles, Tatum made the Pro Bowl from 1973 to 1975 and was with the Raiders when they won the Super Bowl in 1977. He began playing football in his sophomore year of high school as a running back, fullback, and defensive back. He excelled, earning first-team All-State and All-American as a senior. Tatum would commit to the Ohio Buckeyes as a running back. However, the assistant coach, Lou Holtz, managed to persuade the head coach to switch Tatum to defensive back, and the course of history would change. He was first team All Big Ten in 1968, 1969, and 1970. He was also selected as National Defensive Player of the Year in 1970. He would be inducted into the College Hall of Fame in 2004, and true to his hard-hitting legacy, the Jack Tatum Hit of the Week award would be created for the player who had the best defensive hit. He would be drafted by the Raiders in the first round of the 1971 draft, and he would live up to his nickname immediately. In his first career game against the Baltimore Colts, he knocked out tight end John Mackey and then knocked out his replacement, Tom Mitchell. People would soon begin drawing parallels between him and Bears linebacker Dick Butkus, who also had a reputation for hard hits. He would write, "Any fool knows when you hit someone with your best shot and he is still able to think, then you're not a hitter. My idea of a good hit is when the victim wakes up on the sideline with the train whistles blowing in his head and wondering who he is and what ran over him." Alright, I'm scared of this dude. During his career, he would head the Raiders' dub defense Soul Patrol, consisting of Hall of Fame cornerback Willie Brown, George Atkinson, and safety skip Dr. Death Thomas. The defense was the epitome of aggression and violence, punishing players that crossed their path. Despite a great career, 37 interceptions and 10 recovered fumbles, including a 104-yard return against the Packers in 1972, he became infamous for a few hits, one in particular. There was this play in the 1977 Super Bowl where he hit Vikings receiver Sammy White so hard his helmet went flying. Then there is this hit with Steeler Frenchie Fuqua that sent the ball flying in the direction of Franco Harris, who scooped up the ball and scored a touchdown in the play known as the Immaculate Reception. These plays represent the player Tatum was, smashing into receivers, but also the fact he would go for the hit instead of the ball. Tatum was a great defender, but his legacy has become one hit in particular, the one that left Darryl Stingley paralyzed for the rest of his life. In a preseason game against the Patriots, Tatum and receiver Darryl Stingley came into contact as Stingley jumped for a pass. Tatum launched himself and smashed into Stingley's neck with his shoulder pads. The hit broke his neck, damaging his spinal cord and leaving him a quadriplegic. Nothing can compare to what Stingley had to live with, but it also affected Tatum. His goal, of course, was not to cause this type of damage to players. A close friend said he became somewhat of a recluse after this injury, and John Madden said it was something that ate on him for his whole life. Despite this apparent regret, he did not publicly apologize to Stingley. There were attempts to connect and resolve, but nothing came to fruition. Tatum would say, "I feel sorry for what happened to him. I tried to apologize to him a number of times, but people around him wouldn't let that happen." That being said, he would also say this, "I didn't apologize. That was football. I was sorry that he got hurt. But to go out and apologize for the way I played football, that is never going to happen. Even today, people think I'm a bad guy. What did I do wrong?" Look, I do understand. The hard-hitting style of play was the norm. The hit was legal, there were no flags, it was how the position was played. And the intention, of course, was never to hurt a player like this. Still, I don't understand why you can't apologize. It's not apologizing for how he played. Football is a violent game, and there is inherent risk to it. An apology would show his sympathy or regret for how the play unfolded. It wasn't to say the play was wrong, it was a freak accident. But it was a life-destructing injury, and an apology would acknowledge that. Or as Stingley said, a life-altering hit. It would not be an apology for how he plays, but an apology for this seriously unfortunate injury. In 2003, Stingley would say he forgave Tatum years ago, but they would never meet or discuss the incident. Tatum would also experience medical problems as he got older. He lost all his toes on his left foot and eventually the whole of his left leg below the knee from complications stemming from his diabetes, and he would pass in 2010 after a fatal heart attack. And that is Jack Tatum, a great career marred by one hit. Alright, thanks for watching.